ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः Ah, are you posting anything, Anshu?
Yes, sir.
Wait.
I'll just post.
Yeah, wait. Ganesh has a question here. First, we'll attend to him. Otherwise, he will throw us out. So we'll attend to him first.
Considering the topic of Prarabdha,
Yes. Yes.
events happen.
Yes.
Your presence there is your Prarabdha. Your presence there is your Prarabdha.
Yes.
Allowing to be acting according to your mind, your Prarabdha continues, cycle continues.
Yes.
Allowing the intellect to function, Prarabdha continues, but your agitation reduces. You also have a chance of knocking off your Sanchita gradually. And you have a chance of, if you get enlightened, you can vaporize the Sanchita.
Yes.
Prarabdha continues.
Continues. Correct.
Therefore, by using our intellect,
Yes.
we can tinker with the Sanchita.
Yes. Yes.
Prarabdha is not solid.
Hmm.
Nothing can move it. Only your affectation can get changed.
Correct.
Is this thinking right or is it short circuiting?
Yeah. The clarification that Ganesh is asking is in relation to the discussions on Prarabdha that we have been having. Who started this Prarabdha? I don't remember. Whoever started this Prarabdha. Huh?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. She started. She can't do anything good in her life. Then Meera started there saying, I said she can't, she's incapable of doing anything good. Now, Ganesh is asking in relation to Prarabdha. Prarabdha as an experience is Prarabdha as an experience you must necessarily go through. By using the intellect, can you lessen the agitation? That's the clarification. Correct? Answer. By using the intellect, agitations of Prarabdha cannot be lessened. Because Prarabdha means that agitations has to be, you have to go through that agitations is Prarabdha. Again, I repeat, using the intellect, the agitations you cannot, using the intellect, agitations cannot be reduced. That's why it's called Prarabdha. It means that that intense experience for a period of time you must undergo. Therefore, can intellect handle Prarabdha? Answer is no, intellect cannot handle Prarabdha. For intellect to handle Prarabdha, knowledge must be able to handle Prarabdha. See, when we say intellect is handling Prarabdha, intellect strengthened by knowledge. The definition of Prarabdha is knowledge has no, if you remember in the very first session when we introduced Prarabdha, we said Prarabdha means knowledge has no effect. It means you necessarily have to go through the period of physical, mental pain, whatever be it. You necessarily have to go through that period. Intellect cannot do anything there. Are you able to follow? Having said this, most of the human beings don't fit into this category. Why most of the human beings don't fit into this category? Because most of the human beings are a combination of karta, bhokta a lot. Therefore, the karta part can influence the bhokta part. Therefore, in most of the human beings' case, we will not use the word handle your prarabdha. We will say handle your mind. Are you able to follow? We will never say handle your. We will say handle your mind. Deal with your mind. Handle your mind. Only that much we will say. What is technically prarabdha by definition? How much ever knowledge, etc., you bring in, a period of mental agitation, you need to experience. That is called prarabdha, means a period of agitation that one has to necessarily go through, where you just cannot do anything about it. என்னதான் plastic sheet போனாலும் மழை பெய்யும் போது what can you do there? Yeah. As you are climbing the mountains, you can go with all the gears and everything, but all that will help for 2 minutes. After that, that's it. Everything is wet. Your clothes are wet. You are wet. Everything is wet. You just have to keep going. அங்க ஒண்ணுமே செய்ய முடியாது. Yeah. ஒதுங்கலானா கூட இடம் கிடையாது. Where will you stay? Where will you even take shelter there? There is no place even to take shelter there. What would you do? Are you able to follow? So intellect can deal with the mental agitations. In the layperson's case, intellect is very important to deal with the mental agitations. Why? Because the division of prarabdha and purushartha is so intertwined. In a layperson's case, it is all so intertwined that you cannot actually segregate in your case and say, this is my prarabdha, this I have to necessarily go through, this I need to, this I can do. No. In a layperson's case, you have to accept the fact that there is no such thing called prarabdha for you, and you can do, you have to put in your effort to change the quality of your mind. You have to accept that. As you put in your best effort, heart and soul into whatever capacity you can do, there are times where you necessarily have to go through a period of agitations. When you are going through the period of agitations, answer is don't whip yourself, don't lose motivation, don't lose enthusiasm. Something that you have to experience is happening. Are you able to follow? So in a layperson's case, it is all intertwined so much that we will never know how to segregate. That's why in most of the times, the discussion of prarabdha itself will not be entertained a lot because it's so difficult to explain. Therefore, the very prarabdha discussion will be restricted only to the life of an enlightened person after realization before physical death. After realization, before physical death, he lives. Let us say 8 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. On what basis he lives? Because all vasanas are gone. So technically that man should have been dead and gone. But still that man is living like any one of us. What is it due to? It is, we say it is prarabdha. But prarabdha is not restricted only to that. Prarabdha is one of the very beautiful, is a very, very powerful knowledge, very valid knowledge that is applicable to all human beings. Where you cannot understand this, you cannot do self-analysis, you cannot do self-introspection and distinguish for yourself, this is my prarabdha. That you cannot. Are you able to follow? You cannot do self-analysis, you cannot do self-introspection and come and tell me, this is my prarabdha, sir, I have found out. This is my prarabdha. Nothing can be done about it. If somebody comes and tells, knowledge will immediately turn back and say, you are you are blabbering. You have not understood the concept rightly. Are you able to follow, Ganesh? So in the layperson's term, there is only one thing called effort. You can, as you are putting in effort, lot of situations we have to encounter on an everyday basis where titiksha needs to be practiced. What is that called? Tam titikshasva Bharata. Practice titiksha, Arjuna. The situation is there. Now you can't do anything about the situation. The war as a situation is an inevitable situation. Inevitable means prarabdha. It's not that they have a choice to fight or not to fight. The choice itself is not there, isn't it? In the case of Arjuna, the choice itself isn't there. He is assuming that he has a choice to fight or not to fight. She is saying, no, you have to fight. So Adalend is, now what to do now? Mind is rebelling, mind is frustrated, not willing to accept. I think in the method, practice. Matrar sparshasthu kaunteya sitoshna sukadukadaha. Agamapayino anityaha, agamapayinaha anityaha. அது ஸ்லோகத்தில் சொல்லும்போது ஆகமாபாயினோ நித்யாகான்னு வரும். When you chant, you will not use the word anitya. Because of the chanting thing, you will say Agamapayino Nityaha Tam Titikshasva Bharata. Poetry, isn't it? All languages has. In one of the இதுல பஜன் ஸ்பாட் பாடும்போது இவர் சொல்வார், ஹரிதாஸ் கிரி ரொம்ப அழகா சொல்வார். அது there is a song called தாய் யசோதா. இல்லையா? அதுல வந்து அந்த தாய் யசோதா பாடும்போது உந்தன் ஆயர் குல துதித்தன் வரும். அது பிரிச்சாக்கா உந்தன் ஆயர்னு வரும். சேர்த்து பாடும்போது எப்படி வரும்? நாயர்னு வரும். சேர்த்து பாடினாக்கா அது நாயர்னு வரும். பிரிச்சு பாடும்போது உந்தன் ஆயர்னு வரும். இல்ல அந்த மாதிரிதான் அது. ஆகமாபாயினோ நித்யாக தாம் திதிக்ஷஸ்வ பாரதனா. ஹவு நவ் யூ ஹேவ் டு அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் திஸ். ஆகமாபாயினஹ அனித்யஹ. ஆகமாபாயினோ அனித்யஹன்னு சொன்னா சான்ஸ்கிரிட் டீச்சர் வில் தள்ள ஒரு குட்டு குட்டுவார். உனக்கு ஒழுங்கா படிக்க கூட தெரியலன்னு he will come and give one knock in the head. Agamapayino nityaha tam titikshasva bharata. Are you able to follow? So titiksha is, as you are making in your effort, there are situations that you have to necessarily, there are experiences that you have to necessarily go through. When you go through that, instead of weeping, crying, mourning, losing motivation on dharma, all this problem in our own. When you are going through a trying situation, a difficult situation, a trying situation, first thing that happens is what? Your conviction in dharma will go out. See, nobody's conviction on adharma will go, but conviction on dharma goes because our conviction on dharma is so fragile. It's not a conviction at all. It's so fragile. Fragile means one experience can shatter the whole lot. How to avoid that? How to avoid some experiences is so shattering that you lose conviction in dharma. Now, what would you do in those situations? Knowledge tells you titiksha. It's your prarabdha. It's your prarabdha, and you have to just go through it. When you are going through it, you understand what? Acharya beautiful. ஏதோ கணக்கு கழியறதுன்னு நினைச்சுக்கணும். He is saying some accounts are being settled somewhere. Just go through. Just go through that. Are you able to follow? So very, very one of the extraordinary bits of knowledge that Vedanta gives is Prarabdha. See, Purushartha is a common sense knowledge. You don't need a scripture to come and talk about Purushartha, effort. Are you able to follow? You do something, you can change is common sense effort. You don't need a scripture to come and talk about Purushartha. I always tell you, you need a scripture to talk about Dharma. Because of Dharma, there is Prarabdha, and you must necessarily go through it and get over it. Now, scripture is needed to give this advice. Yeah. By your effort, you can change is common sense. You don't need a scripture to come and tell you that. But nobody will talk about Prarabdha. Are you able to follow the difference now? Again, I repeat, to talk about self-effort is common sense. You will, that which common sense can teach you, you don't need a Krishna to come and teach it again. Now, if a scripture is giving you something, the scripture must give you something which others cannot tell you, others cannot teach you. Then only scripture has a meaning. Yeah. Again, if scripture has a meaning only when it can teach something where others cannot teach. So others, anybody has little bit of common sense will understand effort, self-effort. Other you don't need a scripture. But there is this thing called Prarabdha, and how much ever you put in effort, it will not show immediate result. But the Purushartha of today will definitely bring about the Bhokta of tomorrow. As a today's Bhokta, it is Prarabdha. But tomorrow's Bhokta is different. All that knowledge comes from the scripture. In that way, Prarabdha is a very, 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 very meaningful, very, very meaningful knowledge.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
It gives us a conviction to go through some experiences without whipping oneself, without losing conviction in Dharma. The idea is that because the conviction Dharma is so fragile, one word, one experience, yeah, or WhatsApp forward, isn't it? Yeah, one WhatsApp forward is enough to, one WhatsApp forward is enough. சும்மா ஒரு fake video போட்டா கூட it is, even a single video is enough to upset the, yeah, all the work that you have done can be undone by, it means your the conviction dharma is so fragile that you can lose it very fast. And if you lose it, to build it again is, yeah, if you lose it, again you have to start from, actually, a snake and ladder game, Madri. You go up, 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 and then in the big snake, you come down. Again, you have to. How difficult it is. Do you follow? Hmm? Yeah. Is it okay, Ganesh? Yes.
Good and bad.
Yes. Can Prarabdha be good and bad? Yes. Prarabdha is both good and bad. Good Prarabdha, we don't have a problem at all. Bad Prarabdha, we have a problem. Good Prarabdha is, after our evening class yesterday in the institute, I went to another class. I went there, they are saying, they're all looking so sad, worried and all. I said, why, what happened? The dog is unwell. It has gone through 3 surgeries in a day. Yes. I said, dog good Prarabdha. It's a good Prarabdha for the dog, because after 14 years, being taken care in a, taken care. IV போடுறாங்க, அதுக்கு 2 பேர் காடுக்கு இருக்கிறாங்க. I said, human beings itself is not getting that. Human beings are not getting that kind of thing. It is getting that. And then they are saying, food pocha, they are talking. I thought food for the attender. And then they said, no, sir, food for Coco. Good Prarabdha. These are all called good Prarabdha. Bad Prarabdha. Yeah. Where Prarabdha? So wherever we talk about Prarabdha as in difficulties, we are talking about a Prarabdha where mostly it is negative by nature. Negative by nature in the sense of mental agitations. You follow?
It's none of the same. It's like bias.
Yes. Now, where prayaschitta can be done, Prarabdha means even prayaschitas won't work. As the technical definition of Prarabdha. Technical definition of Prarabdha is even prayaschitta won't work. Adhikku you must have a conviction in prayaschitta karma, and then you should have done so much of prayaschitta karma. இன்னைக்கு அதெல்லாம் பண்றதே கிடையாது. Nobody has any conviction. But by definition, Prarabdha means where prayaschitta karma also stops. That's why in the prayaschitta itself they say gradations of Prarabdha. Gradations of Prarabdha. If it is a mild Prarabdha, some prayaschitta karma can handle that. If it is something, a long period of prayaschitta is required. Some Prarabdha, என்ன பிராயசித்தம் பண்ணாலும் அந்த period of pain has to be endured. Titiksha தான் அங்க. That's why Prarabdha equals Titiksha. Prayaschitta karma, if Prayaschitta karma can take care of it, then it's not such a strong Prarabdha. It's okay. Prarabdha அதிலே கொஞ்சம் துர்லபம், மத்தியமம், உத்தமம், அது எல்லாத்துக்கும் gradations they have. They have gradations for all that. They have gradations, and it's such a beautiful mapping they have done. So finally they'll come to what? After doing all the prayaschitta, also if you are still going through that, understand it as your Prarabdha. The idea of Prarabdha gives you the capacity to practice Titiksha. Prarabdha, இப்போ வந்து self effort is the only knowledge. Nobody will have mental strength or inclination to practice Titiksha, because they will assume what? Everything can be changed overnight. The Prarabdha comes and tells you sustained effort, Titiksha, go. Sustained effort, Titiksha, keep going. Therefore, the idea of Prarabdha is very important. You follow? Yes, Raghu.
So Prarabdha is a net of all the positives and negatives resulting in a significant negative.
Yes.
And you say it's inevitable. Inevitable means you don't have a choice. At this
Yes.
point, intellect cannot be.
Correct. Yes.
No choice.
You have no choice.
Intellect allows for a choice, but in this case, there is no choice.
Yes. Yes. Prarabdha means, what Raghu is saying is, Prarabdha means a net effect of all the good and bad that you have done that will necessarily make you go through an experience for a period of time. It will necessarily make you go through an experience for a period of time. That's Prarabdha. That is what we call as Prarabdha, where intellect cannot do anything about it. Because Ganesh started by saying, can I use intellect to deal with Prarabdha? No, intellect itself becomes redundant here, powerless here. Intellect itself becomes redundant, powerless in relation to that experience. Not redundant or powerless to your entire life as a karta. As a bhokta, for this specific experience, it is redundant. That's why I keep on distinguishing the karta bhokta. For you, one part of you, which is a bhokta, will have a specific, you being a bhokta, will have a specific experience that you have to go through for a specific period of time, irrespective of the knowledge that you have. In fact, true knowledge means there will not be a complaint at all. They'll just go through that. Tap open பண்ண மாதிரி the experience will start. 3 days, 4 days, 5 days later, tap close ஆற மாதிரி the experience will end. Get up and go. I have seen. You know, when you can see it doing, or to some extent, if you try to do it on yourself and all, then you'll understand how it works. It will start. ஒரு சொல்லி வச்ச மாதிரி ஒரு டேப் ஓபன் பண்ண மாதிரி it will start. டேங்க்ல தண்ணி இருக்கிற வரைக்கும் அது tank is full of leak ஆகினே இருக்கும். Once the tank is empty, 2 days, 3 days, it just stops. You get up, and that experience will have it will not leave any mark on your personality. All other experiences will leave a scar, mark on your personality. Prarabdha will not leave any scar or mark. You open, finish, close, done. Accounts are closed. I tell you, such a beautiful way of living life, as long as prarabdhas are good. As long as prarabdhas are good, it is very mixed karma. Because we all do mixed karma, the consequences of us also will be mixed only. Mixed karma pala. Okay.
Okay, we take it advanced speaker. He'll be able to handle this picture well. He need to go into experience, but he'll be able to handle it because the picture has developed well.
Yes. In the case of a spiritual seeker, titiksha will be very high. Titiksha will be very high in the sense of, yes, it is something that I have to go through. I am going through. No complaint, no criticism, no wanting to do something no wanting to do to set it right. Yeah, no wanting to do to set it right. Prarabdha means recognizing your helplessness for a period of time. Avladhaan. What does Prarabdha means? Recognizing the fact that you are helpless for a period of time. Avladhaan Prarabdha. You are helpless for a period of time. Now, what made you to be helpless for a period of time? Your own doing. Your own doing. So, Prarabdha means what? You are helpless for a period of time. You are helpless. And that helplessness will not irritate you. The helplessness will not frustrate you. You will not feel, you will not, all the negativities will not come because of that helplessness. You will just practice. Another, they'll say, traditional practice. Raman soltu. Yeah, they'll say Raman soltu pointe iru, they'll say. Yeah. Keep saying Raman, keep saying Raman, keep going. Because the drama is not to come and wipe your prarabdha out. Yeah, the drama will not come and wipe your prarabdha out. You don't seek Rama's help for wiping the prarabdha, but for strength. Strength, that's all. That's all. Yeah. Yes, Anshu, any other clarifications you have to post? What is the difference between prarabdha karma and prarabdha vasana? Now, all these definitions we have given already. What is the difference between Aghami karma, Aghami vasana, Sanchita karma, Sanchita vasana? All these definitions are given already very, very clearly. The word vasana means unmanifest tendencies that are yet to manifest. Amit, the word vasana means tendencies that are yet to manifest. That are yet to manifest will be spoken only in relation to what? Manifest. So divide it into two, the manifest and the unmanifest. The unmanifest is called vasana. The manifest is called thought, desire, action. The unmanifest part is vasana. The manifest part is thought, desire, action. We don't use the word vasana a lot. We use the word karma a lot because we want to talk about the manifest. We don't want to talk about the unmanifest. What are we going to do talking about the unmanifest? Because unmanifest means you really don't know what to do there. You can't do anything there. How to change the vasana, sir? You can't change the vasana. You can make an attempt to change the desire because it is manifest. That which is manifest alone, you can do something. That which is yet to manifest, what can you do? So, vasana means the unmanifest part of you. Karma means the manifest part. Manasam karma, vachikam karma, the, the thought, desire, and action. So remove the word. Don't use it synonymously. It is very use it very distinctly and different. Remember the basic formula and then ask. What is the basic formula? Manifest and unmanifest. Life has two parts, the manifest and the unmanifest. Deep sleep is the unmanifest. Dream and waking state is manifest. Vasana is unmanifest. Thought, desire, action is manifest. Between two manifest, there is a period of unmanifested. And name given to that is called vasana, deep sleep. Anything you can use. Are you able to follow, Amit? Therefore, don't use it interchangeably. The problem in thinking is we use words. The problem in thinking, we use words so interchangeably. And when you start using words interchangeably, it gets very confusing. At least the technical terms you should not use interchangeably. Are you able to follow? Amit. In the classroom, I will use it interchangeably. It is your job to understand it rightly. Because it's not in a free flow discussion, it tends to the words come out like that. You follow? Therefore, but the concepts has to be very clear. Manifest, unmanifest. Vasana, the unmanifest, the manifest is thought, desire, action. It's a cycle. And manifest and unmanifest keeps going in a cycle. Cycle means what? That it will repeat again and again and again. You can never know what is the beginning, what is the end. Cycle means the beginning and the end is unknown. If we can know the beginning, then it is not a circle anymore. Of these two, which came first, sir? We are saying it means you have not understood the meaning of cycle, circle. Why? Because if we can pinpoint the beginning, then it is no more a cycle. Cycle means what? The beginning and the end can never be. The beginning and end can never be determined, can be known. You can transcend the cycle. That is possible. The cycle cannot be understood rightly. Are you able to follow? But sir, how can I transcend without understanding? I'll go to the doctor. You don't need to be a doctor for the medicines to work on you. You go to the doctor, doctor gives a prescription. Do you need to know everything about medicine for the medicine to work on you? All that you need to do is what? All that you need to do is what? Huh? Swallow. With Shraddha. Swallow with Shraddha. It will work. அவ்வளவுதான் சார். பட் எதுக்கும் இன்னொரு ஒப்பீனியன் எடுத்துக்கலாமான்னா இட் வில் நாட். எதுக்கும் கேன் ஐ டேக் another opinion? Can I have opinion? I'm not saying don't go for multiple opinions. When you have ailments, please go. 1, 2, 3, 4, how much ever you want to take, take. Doesn't matter. Because at the end of it, what is going to work is the cycle. Therefore, you need not to transcend the cycle. You need not know the beginning of the cycle. 1. Number 2, the only way that you know the beginning of the cycle is when you transcend it. The only way to know the beginning of the cycle is by transcending it. That is why those who have transcended alone will be able to tell us what the cycle is. And what is the answer they give? They say it's anadi. It is anadi. Ignorance na that which doesn't have a beginning but can be ended. That's Maya. Knowledge, ignorance na Jairangan. ஏதா புரியுதா? I don't know. It doesn't have that which doesn't have a beginning but can be ended. No. பயங்கர பேத்தலா இருக்கு சார் அது. This looks like one big blabbering. It is like that. The truth is that no, if it doesn't fit our logic, Ramtirtha says change your logic. No, but it doesn't. Ramtirtha, he says, because there's a problem with your logic. Change your logic for the fact is not going to change. He said, for the fact is not going to, what is it? That which doesn't have a beginning but can be ended is the cycle. So why I'm saying that manifest, you should know the meaning. Unmanifest, definition must be very clear. Cycle means the definition must be very, very, very clear. If these definitions are not clear, you will just simply go, you will go in meandering. Clarity varaadu thinking. Technical terms must be very clearly accepted and repeated. It should not be interchangeably used. Technical terms must be the same, repeated, understood. You cannot interchange. You cannot interchange. Now, with all these definitions that I gave about the manifest, the unmanifest, the vasana, the karma, amit. Revisit all your questions and come back. Abdina, we are erasing all your questions now. Revisit all your questions with these clarifications and come back. Think with this clarity. You follow me? So use the word karma means what? Karma means action, the consequence of action. The word karma has two meanings. Vasana means the unmanifest. And this the unmanifest becomes manifest. The unmanifest becomes manifest. And when it gets manifest, it doesn't come all of a sudden into full manifestation. It will be a gradual manifestation, just as the seed doesn't become the tree straight away. So from the unmanifest to manifest, there are stages. Thought is the first stage. Desire is the next stage. Action is the last. These are all words that are very, very important. Sanchita means not the number. I'm defining again, Amit. Sanchita means it's not the number of vasanas. We have said that again. Remember that? Sanchita means not the number of vasanas. Sanchita means the intensity. Sanchita means, do I have 150 desires? How do we know that you have 150 desires? Unless it manifests. Therefore, at the Sanchita level, we can never talk about the number of desires. Are you able to follow? At the Sanchita level, we can never talk about the number of desires. At the Aghami level, we can talk about some number. Why? Because it has come into manifest. At one level, it has come into manifest. At Sanchita level, it didn't manifest at all. That which doesn't come into manifestation, how can you talk about it in terms of numbers? Therefore, what is Sanchita means? The total vasanas, they say. Because of the English word total, you take it as a mathematical total. It's not the mathematical total. A intense sense of unfulfillment and a deep conviction that world alone can fulfill that. That intensity will manifest as thought, desire, action. So what is Sanchita? Sanchita means the total intensity of your the total intensity of the unfulfillment. Are you able to follow? Because this unfulfillment is a notion, knowledge can remove that. Because it's a notion. Notion means it's your activities. Are you able to follow? At the unmanifest level, vasana, karma, and all, we don't use terms. So Sanchita means that the intensity of your unfulfillment, not in terms of numbers. That is called Sanchita. That is the meaning of the word Sanchita. Then another word, Aghami. Aghami means that which is ready to come. Ready, it's waiting. It's ready to come. Aghami. Manifestation has happened. You need a penetrating capacity to know your Aghami. That's where you can be one step ahead of your desire and eliminate it. Aghami can be known, but that requires a lot of penetrating capacity. That's why we say intellect, intellect, intellect. Because no intellect, we don't even. So Aghami. What is Prarabdha? What is Prarabdha? 3 வாரமா பேசின்னு இருக்கிறது தான் Prarabdha. 3 weeks we are discussing it is our Prarabdha. Yeah, Prarabdha. What is Prarabdha? This is Prarabdha. Meaning the end of the அது வந்து முடிஞ்சு ஸ்டார்ட் ஆயிடுது, முடிய போறது. When depends on the intensity of your Prarabdha karma, not based on your Purushartha effort. At any given point in time for a lay person, you will not be only experiencing Prarabdha. For you will always have a mixture of Prarabdha and Aghami. Supposing if you are only experiencing, theoretically take this case. Supposing if you are only experiencing Prarabdha, absolutely no problem. Why? Because you know, mala ninnu, natural dry hour work, you have to stay. You go up the, yeah. First time we experienced it in the Shabarimala trek. Pouring, you get drenched. Completely you get drenched. Yeah. அழுதால ஏறின்னு இருக்கும்போது we get drenched. That's it. You can't do. Either you can come back. And the only possibility that you have in front of you is what? What? You have to simply stand, I tell you. Blissful moment it is, where you just have to simply stand and wait for the rains to stop, and then wait for waters to flow down. So that few hours is, in that few hours, you just have to say, I got in Ukandragun. Yeah. Beautiful. I tell you, blissful moments of life is a Prarabdha moment. But then we don't understand. That's a different thing altogether. Don't worry about it. Are you able to follow what is Sanchita, Aghami, Prarabdha? In life, why do we have to discuss all these things? What is the need to discuss these definitions again and again and again? It is very important to know these definitions again and again because these shapes your thinking. This shapes your thinking. This shapes your attitude towards life. That's why you have to go over it again and again and again. How many ever times people ask, we keep talking about it tirelessly, so enthusiastically. Why? Because this is going to change. These terms are very important because it shapes your thinking. Shapes your thinking. It shapes your attitude towards. It shapes your attitude towards life. It shapes how you meet situations in life. All this happens through. So, Sanchita, Aghami, and Prarabdha. Then distinct and different from that is Purushartha. What does Purushartha means? Purusha Artha. Purushartha means, Purusha means human. The Sanskrit word Purusha means human. It can be male, it can be female. For both will be called as ஸ்திரீ புருஷன் சொல்லவே வேணாம். OMR ரோடுன்ற மாதிரி அது. See, there is one road, no, ECR னு சொன்னாலே போறோம். Correct? You don't have to say ECR road. ஏன்னா ECR லயே there is road, no? It is like, but then we are so used to saying all this, we are confused. So, Purusha means human. Human means one who has the capacity to make a choice. One who has the capacity to make a choice. That's called one who has the capacity to make a choice is called Purusha. Because you have the capacity to make a choice, karma comes only to you. In a choiceless situation, there is no. Remember that karma comes into play only. Karma has a precondition. What is a precondition for karma to come into play? You must have a choice. Choice of what? Choice of dharma versus desire. Yeah, then choice. Always there is a choice between dharma and the desire. Most of the times, who wins? Huh? Desire wins. Obviously, desire wins. A different karma for that. In situations where dharma wins, different karma. Therefore, karma as in karma pala comes only when there is a choice. Remember that always. Choice கிடையாதுன்னா அங்க கர்மாவே choice இல்லைன்னா அங்க கர்மா கிடையாது. That's why we say all other species just exist, exhaust all other species come into existence, exhaust their karmas and they go. Go means go into the next embodiment. Go not permanently gone into the next embodiment. Are able to follow how the life works? So human beings alone face karma because they only have a choice. Choice means to do. Choice means what? To do. Not to do. Do it otherwise. That choice in anartham. It's the basic thing. Choice means to do. Not to do. Do it. But nevertheless, you make your choice. And whenever you make your choice, there is going to be a consequence. So karma means choice, action. Karma means consequence of action. Purushartha means what? Purushartha means telling you that Purushartha explains your current bhokta. Purushartha is the most valid logical explanation of the current bhokta in you. Are you able to follow? Amit. Purushartha is the most logical, valid explanation of your today's bhokta. Why? Because the exercises of Purushartha yesterday is what resulted in the bhokta of today. Therefore, Purushartha is the most valid explanation of bhokta. If the Purushartha isn't there, we feel we are victims in a situation. Are you able to follow why Purushartha is very important? If Purushartha isn't there, all of us will feel we are trapped, we are caught. We always feel we are a victim. Purushartha comes and says, there is no such thing. Bhokta of today is the karta of yesterday. As a karta, Purushartha works. As a bhokta, Prarabdha works. So human being equals karta plus bhokta. Human beings equals Prarabdha plus Purushartha. Both going together. Of that, because you cannot do anything about Prarabdha, there is nothing to talk about it. Therefore, the scriptures don't talk about Prarabdha a lot because there is nothing that you can do or anything about Prarabdha. There's only one answer. What? Titiksha. And hearing about Titiksha, you feel like murdering the person who's talking about Titiksha. Am Titikshasva. Such a beautiful quality. All other things are there. The Titiksha is not at all there. So, Prarabdha explains your today, and Prarabdha comes from where? Purushartha. Prarabdha is nothing but, what is Prarabdha? What is Prarabdha? Very strong Purushartha that you have exercised in the past. Are you able to follow? The strong Purushartha that you have exercised in the past has become your Prarabdha now. Appo enna you just have to go through that period. You can go through that period blissfully, or you can go through that period agitated. Yeah, blissfully எப்படி வரும்? Shastric knowledge வரணும். The idea of dharma, the Shastric knowledge, the idea of dharma, etc. will tell you what this period agitation will be agitated. So, Sanchita, Aghami, Prarabdha, ஒரு side. அப்புறம் Purushartha on the other side. For all this, the fundamental starting point of all this is what? The choice. The fundamental starting point of that is the choice. Choice implies multiple factors. Choice doesn't mean two. Choice implies multiple factors. Therefore, to exercise the choice means to know and have a clarity on the multiple factors. Suppose if there is only two, now there is a problem. Choice implies multiple factors. அதனால்தான் எதெல்லாம் when you make a choice, you will be so utterly confused as to what to take into consideration, what not to take into consideration. Why? Because there are so many, there are multiple factors that come into exercising a choice. To resolve the dilemma, the creator was given, who's the creator in the mythology? Brahma. Amit. Brahma, not Brahman. Again, next week you will ask a question on Brahman and Brahma now. I don't know, anybody from that side is complicated only. Yeah. Brahma, the creator. With what aid Brahma created? The Vedas. That's why Brahma created with the help of the Vedas. It means Dharma preceded the creation. Vedas means Dharma. Are you able to follow now? Therefore, you find in all the things, Brahma will be seated on the lotus with on palm leaves. No. Olden days, palm leaves. 50 years back, book. இப்பெல்லாம் iPad கொடுக்கணும் அவர் கையில. Yeah, because there is no book, there is no thing. You have to give one iPad. அப்புறமா maybe cloud கொடுக்கணும் என்னவோ கொஞ்ச நாள்ல. Doesn't, but whatever it is, it was there before. So Brahma didn't create the world and then Vedas came. Are you able to follow? It's not that the world got created first and then Vedas came. Using the Vedas as the basic material, creation happened. That's why we say there is harmony in the creation. There is dharma in the creation. And a human being is given a choice of understanding it and following it. And understanding and following it is the freedom. The human being is free only because he can have the knowledge. Knowledge in the sense of conviction. You have knowledge means, whenever we use the word knowledge, most of the times knowledge is used in the sense of conviction. You are so convinced. What does conviction means? What does conviction means? Experience cannot unsettle you. That is conviction. Again, I repeat. A situation or an experience cannot unsettle you, cannot topple you. That is called conviction. most of the times our convictions are not that strong. Why? Because some experience, some information, something is enough to upset the entire conviction. If our convictions are very fragile, on what basis we make our choices then? On what basis we'll be making our choices? It will be based only on desires. Karma comes into play accordingly. Karma comes into play accordingly. But sir, all other species also acts on desires. No. Why not karma for them also? All other species also acts on desires because they also want to live. They want to eat. They want to take care of themselves. They want to procreate. They want to take care of the family. They want to ensure that their family also lives, survives. They also do all that. No. Why karma only for a human being? Karma is only for a human being because human being alone can accumulate. Nothing in creation accumulates. You follow? Everything has desires, but nothing in creation accumulates. That is where intellect is that's where education is very important. Why human beings alone needs education? Because of this reason. Students go on increasing, knowledge goes on increasing, universities goes on increasing, technology goes on increasing, betterment of life is going on increasing. Actually, what is increasing? Actually, what is increasing? Fear, greed, jealousy, competition, ambition. When all this is increasing, how can knowledge be liberating? When all this is increasing, there cannot be a knowledge never liberates here. In fact, knowledge tells you all this is right. Knowledge tells you all this is right, isn't it? Education, the penetrating capacity is so poor now. Why the penetrating capacity is so poor? Education is very poor. And if we say education very poor, everybody will turn back and say, you are not living in this planet, sir. If you are living in this planet, you will not say this. Why? Look at the multi-specialities, super specialities. When you look at all this that is developing, how can you say education is not growing? Education is not growing. Why? Because look at the factors that entertains. What entertains? Violence is entertaining. Isn't it? Violence is entertaining. Few months back, 4 days, 5 days, 24/7, non-stop, the news channels was talking about when there is a small border fight, 4 days, 5 days, 24/7, everybody was glued to what? Patriotism, huh? Huh? Blind. Violence. There is an attraction to violence. And education has made us get attracted to violence. What is the first thing that education got us attracted to? Coming first. Coming first. Are you able to follow? In the discussion of dharma, which is swabhava, guided by dharma and all that, you are in a box. In the box, there is no coming first, coming second. It is about increasing the guna proportion and evolving sattvic. Are you able to follow that education versus this education? What is this education doing? What is violence means? What is the meaning of violence? What is the meaning of violence? Meaning of violence, ஒரே meaning தான். Happiness in the misery of other. Take it or leave it. Violence has only one meaning. Happiness in the misery of others. It may not be physical. Most of the time, the violence is, it's not a physical violence. It's a mental violence. What is that mental violence? Education that teaches ambition. Ambition will naturally result in race. Racing will result in competition. In competition, there is a speed and anxiety. That anxiety, that speed and intensity will result in anxiety. And that will result in jealousy, envy, comparison. But we are highly educated, sir. Are able to follow the sequence? Again, I repeat the sequence. Amit. Carefully follow the sequence, sir. Education teaches ambition. It doesn't teach. Ambition means what? Becoming number one. Victor is praised, the loser is insulted. Yeah. Losing is seen as an insult, no? Failure is seen as an insult. Ambition. Education teaches ambition. Now, as the starting point of problem, Angada intellect is very important. Intellect versus intelligence we are discussing, no? Angada it is coming. Education teaches ambition. Ambition will result naturally in race, running race. Yeah. Ambition alle race da. Who should come first? In order to come first, you can't say after you. Yeah. After you உட்கார முடியாது இல்லையா? After you na அது தேஜு driving மாதிரி. Everybody should say after you, after you, after you. And we are in the same place, not going only. சந்தில போட்டு 4 பேர் மேல ஏறி இறங்கி keep. Yeah, run over a few, hit a few, don't turn blind to all that. Then only you will reach. No, after you, no, I'm not even getting out of my gate. Ambition. Are you able to follow? Ambition. Education teaches ambition. Ambition will result in race, running race, competition. Remember, competition has a very temporary utility. What is the temporary utilitarian value of a competition? It brings in a kind of speed and intensity. That's where we fall. Competition brings a kind of speed and intensity. That speed and intensity makes you to do certain things which we think we are doing the right thing. So speed and intensity, where there is speed and intensity, race, ambition, calm, collective. Naturally, what will happen? Anxiety. Anxiety will naturally come into jealousy, envy. இதெல்லாம் வந்தா கூடவே comparison will come. And then you have to tell them what? You train them like that. You condition them for the first 30-35 years. And then at the 35th year, you tell them what? Be accommodative. Be loving. Be caring. Be accommodative. We are all one. After conditioning them for 35 years, you teach them that what they will do. Faithfully, they will pass it to the next generation without them practicing anything. Yeah, without them practicing, that's the parampara. Anda parampara we say. Guru parampara mari anda parampara. Andamna blind nu artham. Yeah, there are two paramparas we have. One is the anda parampara, another is Guru parampara. Guru parampara na light to Gurugara parampara. Anda parampara na continues to give, yeah, the whole foundational structure. The whole foundational structure. So dharma, now go back to the starting point. When Brahma, the creator, created, he had Vedas as the guiding force. And what does Veda tells you? There is the Swabhava. Every Swabhava has certain dharma. And the purpose is to move, not to become number one in that, is to let go of the tamoguna, keep the rajoguna, become as sattvic as possible. Inga ambition kadayadu, rivalry kadayadu, there is no ambition, there is no rivalry, there is no running over, there is no competition. Are you able to follow? In this method, intellect is growing. In the first method, intelligence is growing. Yeah, intelligence is growing. And although I started by saying, look at the number of educational institutions, the teaching, all that. Last week, with this I conclude for today. No, last week were the Teachers' Day, no? So one of them said, you must come and address Teachers' Day. I said, no, I am not, no, you are the teacher, you should come for the Teachers' Day address and all that. I said, okay, first I'll address the teachers. So I said, okay. So the group of teachers were there. So I asked them, what are you celebrating? Teachers' Day. Teacher becoming a president. Is that a thing to celebrate? If a president has given up presidentship and taken up to teaching, you celebrate that. The teacher having given up the teacher and become a president, is that to celebrate? Everybody is like, no. This is my address for Teachers' Day, and I ran away. Even before they can wake up to something, I ran away from that place. Able to follow? See, even here, what are we celebrating? So deeply, so much in our subconscious, what are we celebrating? Yeah. 2 days later, the principal called me, sir, from next year, should we celebrate or not? What were you saying? I said, you celebrate, you don't celebrate, that is you and your government's problem. I have nothing to do. I have nothing to do with it. My point is only one. There is only one thing that has to be said. What is it that you are celebrating? One person has become number one is what you are celebrating. Now, when you are celebrating that, deep in your subconscious, what are you valuing? That status, that number one. That's what you are valuing. Because you are valuing that status, that number one, by default, what will you be teaching? Become that, become that, become that. Now, in order to do that, you have to run over. You have to do a few things to get there. And then tell him, you should not do all that. How does it work? I said, children are so confused. They really don't know. Should I be ambitious or should I be ambitious or should I be dharmic? Both won't. Both don't go together. Are you able to follow? Education, the definitions must be very clear. Like the definition of education must be clear. The definition of intellect must be very clear. The definition of intelligence must be very clear. And where do you get intelligence from? From education only. It means education is very, very important. And it means what you teach there is very important. But we don't teach all this, no, sir. We don't teach all this directly They come out learning all this. No teaching, no school or no university teaches them to be envious, jealous, competing. No, directly nobody teaches all that. Are you able to follow? Is there anybody directly teaching all this? No, nobody teaches it directly, but they come out like this. It means what is it? It means what? What are you teaching? You don't directly teach it, but you condition them in such a way that they can never get out of it. It's better that you teach it directly. It's better that you teach it directly so that the fallacies can be easily exposed. But then the irreligious will hide behind the religiosity. That's where it becomes a problem. If the fake is a fake, directly it's not a problem. When the fake hides, that's where penetrating capacity is required. Are you able to follow? See, if the fake is a direct fake, it's very easy. But if the fake is hiding under a mask of genuinity, what will you do? Buddhi is needed. Are you able to follow? If irreligiousness directly exposes itself as irreligiousness, there's no problem. But irreligiousness hides. Irreligiousness hides in the mask of religion. There, what will you do? Are you able to follow? Amit, with these definitions, think about all that. We will still take up all your clarifications. Still, we will take it up. We will not leave any questions unanswered. With all these definitions, rework and come back. Okay.